Reflections on day one.
I thought it was a good toss to win. I think batting first was the right call. It's actually got a good bit of pace and bounce on the wicket, which is nice. I thought it might be a bit slower, but I thought they bowled quite well considering conditions. Very windy out there for the bowlers, so that was part of the decision to bat as well. And I thought possibly didn't bat as well as we could have until that last partnership. So great to see Ashar and obviously Michael Yardy on his last home game getting some runs and putting us in a decent position going into day two.
Talk about that partnership in a minute. Yourself, 83. There were times during the innings when you looked a bit frustrated, Ed.
Yeah, I think it was just frustrated because I was hitting the ball really well and I felt I missed out on a few balls that I could have hit, but I was really happy with the way I batted, and I'm really happy with the way I batted the last 2 or 3 games actually. So it's nice to finish the season, hopefully finish the season well, and hopefully be a part of making sure we stay in the first division, which is obviously our aim at this stage. It's still all to play for. Hampshire played really well on the first day against Yorkshire, and it looks like Worcester are playing well as well. So it's we're certainly not out of the woods, and I don't think we will be until the end of that last game.
171 for 6. It looked a little bit rocky then, but what a terrific partnership.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, we obviously need to get points in this game as well. There's a bit of rain around, so the way they still, the boys' yards and Ashar in particular, still look to score, and I think that was the right way to go. And they're an attack who you can score a lot of runs off if they get it wrong, because they've got a bit of pace in there. So it was brilliant to see, really. I could have taken 300 for 6 at the start of the day for sure.
And they were very positive, Ed. Was that the plan when Ashar went out to bat?
Not necessarily. I think because of the extra pace that Jamie Overton has, I think you end up playing a few more shots than maybe you would normally. Ashar is best when he's playing like that. We've obviously only realised that fairly recently. He's a good counter-punching, counter-attacking batsman. So as I said, we've sort of learnt that maybe a little bit late in the season, but he's played really well, and he showed he's a pretty classy player.
The old campaigner Michael Yardy, 60 not out, he's solid as a rock as usual.
Yeah, he's had a great finish. Ever since he said he was going to retire, he's played so well, and I think it's a lovely thing when you're going to retire to actually finish the way you used to play. You know what I mean? So Mike's obviously shown what a classy player he is, and everyone's really chuffed that he's hitting the ball so well.
How difficult were the conditions, Ed? It was very autumnal out there, with a very strong wind.
I think the wind is hard for everyone. It's particularly hard for bowlers, so I can't really complain as a batter because it's very difficult for them to keep hold themselves in their actions. So fair play to them for bowling pretty well today. It wasn't easy. When the sort of squally rain came in, it was almost impossible to see the ball down this end. That's why lots of people were pulling away. So it wasn't ideal cricketing conditions, but you just have to get on with it. I think we've got more of the same over the next 3 days, so we'll have to just grin and bear it.
2 overs tomorrow morning, and the new ball's due. How important is that in this match?
New balls are always key. It's a good opportunity to score as well, and they have a lot of overs in their legs. They did a long time in the field against Hampshire in their last game, obviously straight into the field in this game as well. So, if we can just get 10 overs into that new ball and get it a bit older, and still have these 2 guys in, and obviously with Jordan still in the hutch, we hopefully have a few more overs still to come.
You mentioned the relegation battle. Have you set yourself a point total whereby you think you'll be safe?
No, we've tried to not think too much about the other games. You always say this stuff, and then you obviously watch the other games like a hawk. So it is hard now. There's no point doing points totals because you don't know what's going to happen. I think we'll be fairly clear going to the last game what we'll need. It depends how Hampshire get on against Yorkshire in this game, and obviously how Worcester get on up at Durham. They've both had pretty good starts to those games. So more in the last game, I think, is when you start looking at those things.
Ed, thanks for joining us.
Cheers.